Yeah. So hello everyone, good morning and good evening. So last class we have actually discussed about object oriented like a class and all. So we also discuss a class example where we can write a physical design for the actual design of an object, and we also create an object based on the class, right? Today we are going to discuss some other concept called inheritance. Okay, what is inheritance? Inheritance means if you, you have already something called a base class. Okay, you have already a base class with some implementation. Okay, you have already one base class with some implementation, and I wanted to create another class which implements the existing class. So most probably in JavaScript, you know the concept called scopes, right? Let me recap once. I think you know about this scope concept, right? You have this global scope and you have a local scope like this. Okay, and this is called as a global and this is called as local. So what is the rule behind the scoping concept in JavaScript is if you declare any variable in the global, if you declare any variable in the global, so the accessibility of the global variable will be in the entire boundary of the global. It means your entire JavaScript file, and uh, you can access the a in this bigger box and also in a smaller box, because if it is there in the global, anybody can access that. Okay, from child also can access the parent. There's like parent data, global data you can access. And there is another rule. If you have any data which you have inside local, okay, we have some data inside local. So what is the boundary for B is only this red color box, and you can't access that B outside of that box. Okay, this is called scope concept of JavaScript. Okay, it means the parent data can be automatically available for the child, but child data cannot be available to the parent. So that is object oriented scopes concept. So what is the parent and child is, you can write classes in a parent and child relationship. So you will write uh, a class here, you will write a class here with some properties and methods. You will write a class with properties and methods. Okay, a base class. And then you create another class which is derived from the parent. Okay, this is derived from the parent, another class. Okay, here also is having its own properties and methods. Okay, so what is the concept behind this is, this concept is called as inheritance. It means whatever the parent is having the properties and methods is by default, these props and methods of the parent class are by default available to the child by default. Okay, you don't need to create them specially, but it is available for you. And whatever the child specific data, this is not available to the parent. It is just whatever the parent is having, just derived to the child. Okay, so in this little terminology is there. If you call the upper one is called parent, then the below one is called as child class. Okay, parent and child class. Or else sometimes the parent is called as super class and the child is called as subclass. Okay, or sometimes parent is called as a base class and child is called as base super class, subclass, base class, derived class, like this. So this is the terminology. If we say this is as a parent, this is a child, this is super, this is sub, this is base class, this is called derived class. Okay, let's see an example where we can write how can we write this type of inheritance concept using classes, and then we'll start with interfaces and also inheritance. Okay, so here I create another folder new directory. So 11 hyphen ts hyphen inheritance. Okay, in this I create on one app.ts. Okay, here I create a class. So what's my plan is I want to create a class, two classes. One is the parent and one is the child. So parent class, I name it as some basic calculator, basic calculator, basic calculator, and I will derive that class with another class, and here I'll name it as advanced calculator. Okay, so let's see how the connection goes and how the inheritance works between these two classes, right? Let's see. So I say class basic calculator. Okay, so here I'll take some calc. I take some public. Okay, so here you need to know something called public, private, and protected. Okay, I tell you that story first. What is private? Means if you declare any variable as private, you can access the variable only inside a class. Okay, if you declare any property as a private modifier, this private keyword, if you declare with the private, you can only access that inside that class. Okay, along with the private, there is something called protected. Protected means you can access in the declared class as well as its child class. Okay, so protected means you can access that in the existing class here. If you declare some property inside, you can access that inside and also here. Okay, that's called protected. And if you write something called public, then what happens? You can access inside, outside, inside, and child class, and even outside the class, even without relationship. Okay, even without without inheritance. Okay, fine. These are the access modifiers. So let me write a class. We will see these things. Class basic calculator. Here I'll take something called, if I write private, what happen? I can only access the variable in that particular class, but I want to make that available for the child also. So better you take it as protected or public. So I say public result, let's say of type number. Result is number. Okay. Inside of this, every class contains something called constructor, a special method. So if you not to understand what is the terminology, this is called class. Okay. So this variable we call actually a property of a class, we call it. And then we write a constructor. We know what is constructor, right? So constructor is a special function to initialize the values of the class members or class properties. Okay, so let me write a constructor. This will initialize some default value. So I say this keyword. So this keyword is referred to the current object. Okay, so this dot result. If you want to access the properties inside of the class, you can use this keyword. Outside means you have to use the class object. Okay, so inside the class you want to access this keyword. So is equal to 0. So it means whenever my object is created for this class, then result is initialized to 0 by default. Fine. Along with this, I need two functions or two methods. One is calculate. Let me write with public method so that I can use it outside. So calculate sum. Okay. So what this will do is it will take two parameters, A of type number and then B of type number. So two things, and it does not return anything, so void. and then so what is the thing inside is let's, or is like this dot result is equal to just a plus b, very simple logic. And I make console dot log of uh, this dot result. You can access the class member using this keyword. Okay, fine. So one method, just like this, another method that is called calculate subtraction. So I just make a minus b and just print the result. Okay, see here, I have one basic calculator. This is like a base class. Okay, so I have one property, one constructor, and one constructor, and two methods we have. Okay, instance method. Okay, sir, how to call them? How to call them means it is just a design. So you can create an object. So how to call is let basic calculator is equal to new basic calculator. You can create an object like this with a new keyword. And we all know if I say new basic calculator is going to call the constructor function. So that will initialize the local variable with 0. Result is initialized 0. Fine. And you want to see that console.log of basic calculator. Let's see what is this object contains. Okay. So let me run the program once and then we'll discuss how to call the functions and all. Not called as function. Okay, don't call them as function name. Call them as methods. Okay, in class oriented we call them as methods instead of function. Okay, because we never use the let keyword here as a method. Fine. And how to call this? You have to right click on this, show in Explorer, and come on. You need to copy this address and open a command line here. Cd space paste, enter. So D drive CLS, yeah, node space app.js, enter. So you got initialize the result is 0 because once you call a constructor that is initialized result value is 0. So I got result 0. Fine. Now I want to call this method and to see the result. How to call this is called as instance method. Instance method means it's like a object a specific method. Okay, object specific, and this is also instance method. So there is a rule, instance method can be called with an object and static method is there that is can be called with the class name. Okay, so let me write something here. Instance method can be called with uh, an object, and static method can be called means can be executed. Okay, can be called with class name. Okay, there are a lot of rules are there. Yeah, fine. So how to call the calculate sum and calculate subtraction? Let's see. So I have an object, so I can call with this method. So I say basic calculator dot calculate sum, and I'm gonna provide two parameters a and b, and both are should be a number. So I say 10 comma 20. Okay, so this is how you will execute. This is called creation, object creation, and this is called uh, executing or calling an instance method of a class. Okay, so if I say basic calculator dot sum of 10 comma 20 is gonna call this function, sorry, the method. You get the result a plus b, so 10 and 20 I pass, so value will be 10 plus 20 is 30, and it's get the console.log of result, so result value will be 30. So let me check the answer. Back here I run the program, I got 30. Okay, so this is how you create instance method of a class and you can call it. Okay, I want to call this method as well, so I can just use this also instance method. So there is no static keyword. Okay, so you can identify If it is having some static keyword, so that's called static method. If no static keyword, that's called instance method. Okay, so how to call is basic calculator dot calculate subtraction of 10 comma 20. So what happened? Basic calculator dot this function, this method I call a minus b. So 10 minus 20 result is minus 10. So when I go back here, if I run the program, see I got minus 10. Okay, well and good. We create a class and we create some instance method and we called it. Fine. But what is our main goal behind this example is we want to implement inheritance. It means some other developer, some other developers or some other library, they have this class, they have given a basic calculator, and without touching this code, okay, they given this code in the form of one library, and without touching this code, but I want to use this existing code to expand the logic of the calculator. So in that case you have to implement the inheritance. So keep existing data and add some extra data. Okay, so that's called inheritance. So how you achieve the inheritance is there is a keyword called extends. Extends keyword, I show you what is that. So how to make a connection between this class and this class is extends keyword. So let's see, as of now I'll just comment these guys. Okay, fine. So let's create another class called advanced calculator. Okay, so if you just write a class like this is completely independent of any other class. Okay, but I want this class to be a derived class from the parent class called basic calculator. So how to make a connection between this class and this class is extends keyword. So I write extends basic calculator. So now both are in connection. So your calculator is extend from the parent basic calculator. Fine. And now here, what I do is, can I say let advanced calculator is equal to, I didn't write anything, no property, nothing I written. So I say advanced calculator, and then I say console.log of advanced calculator. Can you guess what is the output will come here? Any guess? See, you are writing a child class extends from the parent. So what is the rule behind this is whatever the properties and methods are there in the parent class, those are by default available to the child. It means in my in my child class called advanced calculator, I have not written any property. Property means here we have a property called result, but in my child we doesn't have any property. If you don't have any property, then if I can able to print the object, let's see what is this object contains. It belongs to advanced calculator. Okay, let me check. I say if I run the program, see you got advanced calculator object result 0. Sir, how come this result 0 property has come for the child? As per the logic, whatever the parent is having by default available to child. So we have this parent and child relationship. That's why parent data has accessible to the child. Okay, sir, if you don't write this one, then if you don't write this one, what happened? There is no connection at all. If no connection, only your data you can access. In your class, there is no data. If no data, then obviously you get nothing, just empty object. Okay, so that is what inheritance concept, but I want to make use of the previous functions also. So I say extends uh, basic calculator. Okay, and then, and also please note, not only property available, if I run the program, see, not only property available, even the existing methods also available to the child. If you make this relationship, how to make that methods available, how to know that its methods available? Simple, you can do like this: advanced calculator dot, see what you got, calculate sub, calculate sum. It's come because see, I can call, I can say 10 comma 20. See, advanced calculator dot calculate sum, but in this there is no method called calculate sum. Sir, how come this is working? See, no error. And you can also execute that. You get the answer 30. It means this method has been declared in the parent. When you write a child class extend from the parent, so automatically that function is available, that method is available for you. Okay. So if you want to extend the functionality, you can do it. Okay. Or you want to use it, you can use it. Okay. So new keyword is just to create a objective for this class. Object. This is just design. Okay. For that design, you want to create an object, new keyword, and this one. Okay. Fine. So now what's my plan is, I want to write my own methods also in my child class. Anyway, the sum and see here. Anyway, see here, sum and subtraction is available automatically for us. Okay, so whatever uh, is there here, these methods, so those methods by default available, sorry, those methods are by default available to the child. Okay, along with that I want to create my own methods like extra, multiplication and division. You can create them. Okay, so to do that I will create one constructor. Okay, you may think, sir, without writing constructor, as I said, yeah, as I said earlier, when you say new and something you call is going to call the constructor, right? Sir, if you don't have a constructor, how the object is get created? You know the logic behind is, if you don't write a constructor for any class, automatically the internal system will create a constructor. Okay, so here some note you need to know. If no constructor is available, okay, if no constructor is written, then the system itself, the system in the TypeScript uh, compiler system will create a constructor for us. Okay, but you can't see that, but you can create an object. Okay, so I want to create a constructor. Let me write a constructor. So as soon as I write a constructor, you got the error. Observe very closely here. When I delete this extends basic calculator, then constructor no error, right? But when I write extends basic calculator, then you get the error. So what is the issue here is, there is another rule. Okay, lot of rules contains in object oriented. Yeah, another rule is, so whenever a child class uh, whenever a child class is getting constructed constructed before that the parent class object should be constructed. Okay, this is the rule for object oriented. It means whenever you're trying to create an object for uh, child class object. Okay, so whenever you're creating a child class object, before that parent class object should be constructed. It means how the child class object gets constructed if you execute the constructor here. But how can I execute that constructor from here is, there is something called super keyword, super open close. You have to write this in the first line of child class constructor. This should be always in the first line. Okay, so it means whenever the child class child class object is getting constructed, before that parent has to construct. It means whenever I call new advanced calculator is going to construct my child class object, Inside I'm calling super. It means whenever it's reach here, first it's gonna call super. What is this super is gonna call super indicates the parent class constructor. Okay, so generally we refer this super keyword for the parent class object. Child class object can be this keyword. So we have two special keywords. Super keyword indicates super keyword indicates the parent class object, and also this keyword indicates the child class object. Okay, so rule is when child is created, parent also get construct with this keyword. And you can also check, sir, what is this super function? There is no super function. Super means the parent class constructor. You want to know that? Just press the control key and keep a cursor. Just check. See, basic calculator constructor. Even when you press the control and click on this, it's gone to this constructor that will initialize the parent data. Okay, so always remember when you write inheritance, constructor should have super, call the parent. Okay, along with that, I need some other methods like my own multiple and division. So anyway, these two available for us automatically, and let's add these two. So I say public calculate, calculate sum I don't want, calculate multiplication. Here I'll take two things, A of type number and then B of type number. Okay, and this void type, no return type. So I say this dot result is equal to A star B. Okay, I write console dot log of this dot result. Okay, you may question, sir, there is no result property in this, but how can you do that? Simple. If you write as same story what we discussed in the inheritance concept, whatever the property is there in the parent, you can also available to child. If it is available to the child class, you can refer with child class object this dot result. Even though it is not there, you are implemented from the parent, so this is available for this guy because we print the object name. No, you have a result there, so we can refer that with this keyword. Okay, so result equal to a star b and print the result. Along with that, I want another method. So this is division and I write a slash b. Okay, so two extra methods, let me call them. So total, can you tell me how many functions are there in the child? How many methods are available in the child? If you say two, wrong answer. Okay, because we have four methods. Sir, I can see only two, how come four? Simple, man. Parent is having two, right? That two by default available, right? Count is two and two extra, total four. If you want to know that, simply see here, advanced calculator dot, see how many has come? See here, division, multiplication, sum, subtraction. These many. So parent also available to child like that. So you can call all the four. Okay, sum of 10 comma 20. See, I'm calling sum, it's not available. So if not available, how can I call? Because it is available actually because of inheritance. That's the concept of inheritance. Okay, so I call it. Now check the answer. 30. You can do advanced calculator dot calculate subtraction of 10 comma 20. So you get again answer is minus 10. And you can also call advanced calculator dot calculate multiplication its own 10 comma 20. So you get the multiplication result 200. And I also add yeah, if you, yeah, good question, Anita. If you don't want to carry forward all the methods from the base class to the child, you can declare that method as private. Okay, if you declare that method as private, you can only access that method inside of that class. You can't access that outside of any other. So the rule here is uh, See, as we discussed, the private, public, and protected. Private means only inside the class. You can't even access for anybody. Protected means you can access for your class and child class, and that's it. If no child class relation, you can't access anywhere. Public means you can access everywhere, inside the class, outside the class, even child relationship also. Okay, so you can keep that as a private if you don't want to. I mean, if you want to restrict that method to uh, available to child. Okay, so I can call out three. Yeah, advanced calculator dot calculates division 10 comma 20. Okay, I can call all the methods. So let me run the program. Say got all the answer. Okay, this how you implement. That's how you implement the inheritance concept. Okay, and even moreover, there is some other concept called method overloading and also method overriding. Okay, two other concepts also there in OOPS, method overloading, method overriding. What is this method overloading means? You can create a same method name with different arguments. You can create a same method name with different arguments. You can overload the method. For example, you write a sum function. Okay, you write a sum. It will take only A and B. Okay, I can write another sum method with which can accept three parameters also. I write another sum method which we can accept C and uh, D also. Okay, if you write a same method multiple times, but only the difference is the arguments will be the parameters will be different collection of parameters. So if you write this type of logic in your class, then this some method is called as overloaded. Okay, this is called method overloading. But in TypeScript, don't worry, this kind of concept is not available. Okay, method overloading concept is not available, only overriding concept is available. Okay, so for that matter, what I do is I have calculate multiplication AB. Okay, I want to create a same method in this. Okay, I create comma C of type number. See, I create a same method name, but it is accept two parameters, it accept three parameters. So you get the error. Duplicate function implementation. It means in TypeScript, yeah, of course, this is available in Java and C++ as well, but this is not available in TypeScript. Okay, so you cannot write a same method with a multiple parameters. Okay, it leads to a lot of confusion if you have a same method, so you never know which method is getting called. So they have taken that complete story called method overloading, so you can't overload the same method. If you wish, you can write some other name. Okay, it's happy. Okay, so don't worry, method overloading is not available, but method overriding is available. So what is this method overriding? Method overriding can only possible in the inheritance concept. Okay, what is this method overriding in inheritance concept is, in the parent class you have a method called sum. Okay, in the child class also I want to create a one more method with the same name. Okay, so parent class having some method, and in the child class also I want to write a same method name called sum. This is possible, and this way of writing a same method in the child as well is called as method overriding. So what is the logic behind writing method overriding in this? So anyway, if it is parent and child relationship, if the parent is having some by default available to child, then what's the question of writing it again? Yes, good question. So why you want to write it again is if you want to change the logic. Okay, so parent has written some logic. I want to change the logic. Anyway, this is available for me, but I want to change the logic what you have written in the parent. I want to it's like a extend. I want to extend the logic, or I want to enhance the logic. Okay, whatever the previous features are there, I want to extend or enhance the features. For that case, you will, yes, you can write some function with your own logic. Okay, uh, so please see this method overloading concept now. So yeah, same sum function. Please see here in the parent called basic calculator, I have calculate sum. Okay, now in the child, I don't have calculate sum, but still I can call calculate sum because what the parent is having by default available to child, so you can call it. Fine. Now I don't want to call this logic. Okay, assume this is some old logic. I want to add some new logic. It's like 2a plus 2b. Okay, so how to do that? You can take the whole setup and you can write the same function here. So same function, the parent and child, if you write, so you get some nice icon also. So this says overridden method calculate sum in base class. So this is the overridden method. And if you go to the parent, you can see something. This is overridden. This method is overridden, and that overridden method is this one. So you can see this type of arrow marks. So up arrow, and here you have a down arrow. Okay, fine. And so here, if you write this, this is called method overriding. Overriding means I want to extend or enhance the functionality. Okay, so what is the functionality? It was a plus b. I want to add okay, so 2 into a plus 2 into b. Okay, I want to do this logic.
Can
This
we
is my
change?
uh,
Can we change the return type of if we are
you
overriding
can't.
also?
No, you can't.
Okay,
It must be exactly same.
okay.
Okay.
And overloading, if overloading, we change the return type, then
No,
it is
overloading
also
itself
not
is
available.
not possible. So return type also not possible
Okay,
because they won't let you give the same name only.
okay,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I understood because that is there in some Java kind of languages, but that's not available in TypeScript. Okay, fine. So I have my own method 2a 2b. Okay, now tell me if I call the same function, so which function get called? See, in the parent also I have some function, child also I have called some function. Now if I say advanced calculator, let me comment these guys. Okay, in child also I have calculator. So if you have it, it will refer to the local calculate sum only. If you want to know that, just press the control, keep a cursor, click on this. It's gone to where? Child class calculator. If you don't have, then it will refer to parent. Okay, fine. So now if you say calculate sum 10 and 20, what happens is get the result 2a plus 2b. So I think 20 plus 40. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. If I run the program, so 60, 20 plus 40 is 60, two times. Okay. Sir, if you don't write, then what happens? Then also no issue, but it will go and call a parent a plus b. So that time you get the answer 30. Okay. If you implement your own, then it's gonna call your own only based on that object. Okay, fine. Now my question here is, sir, advanced calculator you're calling sum. Yeah, it is gonna call advanced calculator specific sum is fine. Now, can I create a parent class object also? So let's basic calculator is equal to new basic calculator. I'll say basic calculator. Uh, let's say calc. Okay. Okay, basic calculator dot calculate sum 10 comma 20. So what you get this answer here? Here you get the answer as 60. Here you get the answer as 30 because this object is referring to the parent class. So parent class can call parent class method. Child class can call child class method. If not available, it also call parent class method. Okay, so now this time you get 60 here and 30 here. Okay, fine. 60 and 30. Fine. And even one more rule is um, whatever the parent is having by default available to child. So all the props you declare in the parent available to child. And reverse also there. What is the reverse is parent cannot access the child specific data. Child can access parent specific data by default, but parent can never access the child specific data. It's like methods. It means child is having multiplication and division. So can I call this multiplication and division with parent class reference? You can't call because that's what inheritance. Only from top to bottom, but not bottom to top. Okay, so that's why we always refer the arrow is like this. Okay, not like this. Okay, but it's not two way, only one way. Okay, so can I call basic calculator dot see only two functions are there. Okay, not multiplication at all. But intentionally, if you do multiplication, so 10 comma 20, it won't work because property this is not exist on basic calculator. So parent cannot access. Simple man. In real world, it is there. No, for example, parent is there, child is there. Okay, that's real world parent and child. Okay, so your father and you. So whatever the parents own money like gold, cash, land, everything is by default available to child. Your parents money is available to you automatically, right? But what is your own hard earned money like your I don't know, but I'm just saying as per this logic. So your own what your own money, your own car and all this bangla and all, this is not available by default to the parent. They don't have, parent cannot access your data. Okay, then sir, who can access my property? Your child can access. Okay, that's called inheritance, parent to child, child to grandchild, like that. So here we have parent to child. You can create another child with even more smart calculator extend from this. Okay, you can write that way. But parent cannot access the child specific data. Child can access only parents and its own both. Okay, fine. That's about inheritance concept. Now
Can
let's
we
uh,
use like let advanced cal is equal to new basic cal? Parents
no,
reference to childs.
no. I think yeah,
Try
let's
once.
see. Oh, you can. This is called polymorphism, right? Okay. So calculator, you can. I mean this. So some will work because this is of type what, basic. It will work. If I say the answer, it will be just 30 30 because it is of type basic. Fine. Sir, can we say calculate of multiplication or something? No, you can't call. You can't call because this is referring to the parent. So parent cannot access the child specific. So you get there. Okay. So yeah, you can create in that way, but you can call it. So it will be advanced calculator only. Capital. Okay, fine. So the next concept will be what? Interface. Interfaces. Okay. So here concept will be in object oriented. We have three things to understand: interface, abstract class, and concrete class. Okay, so we'll understand what are all this. Interface, abstract class, and concrete class. What is mean by the interface? Interface means interface means it is fully 100% abstract. Okay, I tell you what is that. Abstract class is uh, less than 100%. Okay, abstract. Okay, and this is just 0% abstract. Okay, sir, what is that meaning? Meaning is in the interface only declaration and no implementation, just a declaration. Okay, no implementation at all. Okay, it's like a rules. You just make some rule and you won't implement the rule in there. Just rules. Okay, and what is the abstract classes? You have declaration and also the implementation. Partial implementation. Not all the rules are implemented, just partially implemented. Next, this is nothing but which contains no declaration, complete. It's a fully implemented. Implement. Where is implemented? Fully implemented is called as concrete class. So, what is the concept behind it? Is interface. Suppose if you want to create an object, suppose you want to create a employee object. To create employee object in real world, how you do is first you define some rules. Step number one is you will define some strict rules. What are the rules means? What are the props are available and what are the methods available? Okay, that rules you will define in the interface. Even same like in objects concepts also we have created interface. So what that interface does is it will give some instructions. What is the instruction? The object contains only so and so properties and so type, except that you can't create any new property, you can't remove any other property, and you can't even give the property with different type. So they will strictly define something, because throughout the application you have to maintain the same amount of data, a same kind of data. Okay, same type of data we call. Okay, so first we'll define a rules. Actually, what are the properties will be there, what are the methods will be there. Once you have defined it, then you will implement them in a class. But in between there are some classes, they will implement but partially implement. Okay, there are some classes they only just partial implement, not all the methods are implemented. Okay, only just partial follow. Okay, that's called as abstract class. Okay, and for this abstract class the rule is you can't create any object, so no object creation. So no object creation for abstract class because it's not fully implemented. So how can you create an object? So they removed that complete objects creation logic. So you never ever create an object for abstract class because it is not completely implemented. Your methods defined in the interface. Okay, that's called abstract class, partial implementation. And you have another one that's called concrete class. Concrete class means what is the class we have defined till now. All these classes comes under concrete classes. This is fully implemented, fully implemented, and you can create. So objects creation is happily available. So object creation is possible. Okay, so let's take an example. Then you will really understand what is the concept behind it. Okay, can we write a basic calculator is equal to advanced calculator? You wanna assign the variable back here? You can, try. No, you can try that.
Sir,
Uh,
100% abstract in abstract class, it's is correct? Means 0 to 100% we can say, no?
which one?
Abstract class. You are saying 100% abstract. So
0 to 100%.
0 to 100% means as per declaration or concrete method as well as abstract method.
No, if I say 0% abstract is nothing but concrete. No.
If we are defining only abstract method, then it's 100% abstract. If we are defining abstract as well as the concrete method, then
Uh-huh.
how we can say 100% abstract?
Less than I said, no, less than. 100% is interface.
So
0% is,
yeah, we can write a concrete method as well, right?
yeah, we can write it. That's why I've given less than 100%.
0% also, like 0% also, 0 to 100%.
Okay, in abstract class, you can write only concrete methods.
Yeah.
No. If there is no method is declared as abstract, then how can you make it as abstract class? Okay, okay, I'll clarify this.
Yeah.
I'll clarify this. Okay, so let's start with this story. Interfaces. So I create something for here. I create new directory. So 12 hyphen ts hyphen interfaces. Okay, so these concepts are very important to write something in TypeScript. So yeah, TypeScript just say app.ts. Okay, let me write this comments. So for you to just know about the rules. Fine. So let me create something called interface and my interface. So previously what we have done, we create interface and we create just objects, regular objects. But I want to create interface with the class based object. Let's see. I create interface, some name. Generally they will refer with I keyword, I to indicate that it is interface. That's your wish. You can make employee also. Yeah. And in this, only rules will be there. What is the property and what is the method can be there. No implementation. So I say here, you can use public or else by default, if you write anything in the interface, it will by default is public. Okay, because we want anybody to implement this. So by default is public. So I'm not specifying. If not specify, by default is public. Okay. So I want first name of type string and I need a last name string. So for my employee, what type of data should be there inside? First name, last name, email ID I wanted, and then email ID and designation I wanted. Okay, so four. So my employee, we have first name, last name, email, and designation. These are the properties. Along with that, I need some methods. Okay, these are called as properties name, and this is your interface. Anyway, the name says interface. Okay, and now here you can say methods. So no implementation, just only declaration. What are the methods should be there in your class object? Okay, so methods will be, let's take something called full name. I want to make some full name method of type void. That's only declared. If you just make a function, it will be like implementation. No implementation, only declared. Along with that, something called biography void. Okay, so in my interface, I have a collection of properties and collection of methods, and nothing is implemented. Implemented means you need to assign some value. Okay, like that. So this is not possible because interface is complete 100% abstract, only declaration, no implementation at all. Fine. So you have interface. Now I want to create a class which implements these rules. So I want to create a class which contains these properties and these methods. Let's start. I create a class, something called employee. Okay, employee. I will write yeah. And one more thing, if parent is a class and child is a class, so you can implement using extends keyword. But if the parent is interface, okay, it's not actually called parent. If you want to implement the interface, you need to write implements keyword. For class, we use extends keyword. For interfaces, we use implements keyword. So my class implements I employee. So as soon as I write, see, if I don't write anything, no error because it is completely independent. But whenever you write implements I employee, you get the error. What is the error is, see here, class employee is incorrectly implement the interface I employee which contain these many properties, so you must have to implement them. It says, dude, you are telling that this class is implement this employee, but my employee having this much data, but you didn't write anything here. Okay, you have to write it. So you can write by your own, or else you can just keep a cursor here, and there is a hint, implement all the members. Okay, if you just click on this, automatically you get this. So what are all the methods and properties you want to implement? I want to implement all. So just click on OK. So now check error has gone, and also check all the properties has come, and two functions also, I mean two methods also implemented properly. So now, so every rule of interface has been implemented in my class. If this is the case, then this class is called as a concrete class, because all the things which you have given, everything is implemented here. Okay, yeah, of course you have to write a constructor, so we'll write it. So everything is implemented. Okay, sir, suppose if I don't write something called biography, if I don't write biography, if you don't write biography, what you get the error stating what you incorrectly implement, which is missing. Bio is missing. Okay, uh, now what I do is, I don't want to implement biography now. I want that biography to be implemented in the next child class. Okay, only partially I want to implement the interface. So in that case, you can declare you can declare the biography as a abstract abstract class. Okay, and even if you declare any method as abstract, and you have to declare the class also as abstract. Okay, fine. So this is called partial implementation. You implemented the variables, you implement the method, but you have not implemented the another function. So suppose in interface you have 1,000 functions, 1,000 methods. You have to implement all 1,000 methods in a class. Then only you call as concrete class. Then only you can create object for that. Okay, even 999 you can implement, but only one you have not implemented. But still, that can be treated as abstract class. You can't create an object for that because you have not fully implemented. Okay, that's the story of behind abstract class. Fine. So here I create something called constructor. Constructor. I say first name, first name, last name, email ID, and designation. Okay, so I write here this dot first name is equal to first name, and this dot last name is equal to last name, and this dot email is equal to email, and this dot designation is equal to designation. Okay, you have a constructor, fine, but you can't create an object for the abstract class. So I'll prove it. Suppose when I say let employee is equal to new employee. See, it's not showing at all. So it says what? Cannot create an instance of abstract class. So it's not at all allowed. Okay, fine. So we can't create it. So I want to create one more class which can extends from this guy and implement the biography. Okay, so I can name this as something called ABS employee or something mistake. I can call this as ABS employee just to identify it's an abstract class employee. So I create one more class, class employee extends from the ABS employee. So again you get the error. It's saying that only non-abstract class does not implement the inherited members of bio. See, it's only questioning you to implement bio because everything is there already here except bio. So if I write only bio, now happy. Okay, if I write only bio, now happy because everything is implemented here. Extra bio is there, we can implement. You want, you can write your own also, but that's the story behind abstract class and concrete class. This is your abstract class, and this is actually called as concrete class. But it generally in Angular we write only concrete classes. There is no question of writing abstract classes, but you need to know them. Concrete classes. Okay, fine. So how to create object for this guy is I write like this. I say a constructor which will take a same data, which will take a same data here, I'm calling. And also, you know the rule, right? Whenever you create an object for the child class, before that parent class object gets created. So I say super, and then you call all the first name, last name, email, and designation. You can call like this. Okay. So if this is the relationship, then only you can create an object for this guy also, um, because this is implemented fully. Okay, fine. And so I have access to first name, last name, and all. So can I override the full name, or can we write a full name here? So full name, I say let's something. Okay, you can write just console log, console.log of. I use backtick, but all are public. You can use them here. So I say name will be, let's say dollar this dot first name and some space dollar this dot last name. Okay, so full name is implemented in the parent, so by default available to child as well. So when I create let's employee is equal to new employee, but you have to provide the first name, last name, and all. I say Rajan, and Jain. I'll give something called email, some Rajan at gmail.com, and some designation. I don't know, software engineer. Okay, software engineer. Okay, I create an object, and so this is implemented from the parent. I mean, this is extend from the parent. So parent is having full name by default available for me as well. So I can call employee dot full name. You can call like this. Let's see what is the answer. You get this. Okay, fine. Let's see. Go back here and I say cd space dot cd space 12 tab. Yep. So node space app.js, you got Rajan Jain, full name. Okay. And you want to implement the complete data. So I will write like this. I write a console dot, okay, let's say, let's biography, of type string is equal to backtick. So I need first full name. So I'm going to call the full name from the parent. So how to call that one? You can actually say this dot full name. Okay, anyway parent data is available to child, you can do that. And along with that, let's make slash n for the next line. I say here email, you write this dot email. So parent property also available for us, email, and designation. I write this dot designation. Okay, fine. And then I will write some console log biography. Fine. So in the biography, you have full name also. So write, can we just call this biography? So let's say employee dot bio, you can call it. And this is your instance method. Okay. Okay. So you can call it. And let's see that back here, you got full name undefined. How come? This dot full name. Uh, oh, sorry. It's full name is what? Parent. Okay, parent is having the full name, right? Then if I say this keyword, okay, I can do like this super keyword dot full name. If that is the case, undefined. How come this dot full name? Actually, it has to work. This dot full name. The current object doesn't have full name, so it will refer to the parent. So parent first name and last name. So when you create object, you got first name, last name, email, designation. This will initialize the parent data. Correct. So it has to get the data. Um, biography. Um, full name. It's supposed to get, man. Undefined. Okay.
Sir,
Can
you're
I?
calling actually a function as a function.
Hmm?
You are calling this variable as a function.
This one. ये जो function ही है ना ये. See,
Uh,
just like bio तो function ही है ना. So we can call like a function. ये भी function ही है. See, when I
okay,
keep a
okay.
cursor, ये जा रखी इधर. So this dot first name, this dot last name. So this is here only. You got everything. What's the problem? Okay, I can say first name and then some space. This dot last name. I think now you get. But problem is why can't you call that function? Um, um, okay. We'll figure out some rule will be there because of abstract. And don't worry, in the entire Angular, you never ever write abstract class. Okay, you write always interface and concrete class only. Anyway, this methods and everything available to you, and you can call them immediately. But you need to know the concepts why given. Okay, fine. So this is about interface, abstract class, and the concrete class. Okay. The next concept is goes to be what's the time? Oh, 1 hour. Okay, fine. So the next concept is goes to be the modules concept. What is modules? See, simple thing. What is module means? Um, See here. In the previous example, I write, I have written an interface. I write one abstract class. I write one concrete class, and I call the functions also, and I create an object also. So everything you have written in a single TypeScript file. See everywhere, every example you have only one TypeScript file. Correct? Okay. Only except here, with this all independent. So everywhere you have only one TypeScript file. Correct. Okay. But if you want to develop an application with Angular, in Angular, there are lot of components will be there, every component having one TypeScript file. And you're gonna call the functions of one file to another. For example, for example, this module concept is there in JavaScript also. So what is the module concept here? It is very, very important. You have till now what? You have one just app.ts you have. Okay. So in that I create one class, I create one interface, I create one concrete class like that. Everything is there in single file. You can call them happily. But in future, what is the plan is we will create a separate, we will create a separate TypeScript file for interface iEmployee.ts separate name, and we create a concrete class separately, separate file, and we call as abs employee abs employee.ts file, separate file. And we also create another file called your employee .ts, and which is having a concrete class. So for every requirement you're going to create a separate classes. Okay, because in order to develop a complex application you don't need keep everything on single file. You need to keep a separate types of file. So how can we have a connection between them is the concept called module. Module means you will use two keywords. Okay, in the entire module story you use only two keywords. One is exports and one is imports. Okay, so if you want to use this functionality in this file, okay, I show you simple story. I want to use that functionality in this file. Suppose you create a class, but I want to create an object not here, I want to create here. It means if you want to make this class available for everyone, you need to export the class. Okay, and if you want to use the class in here, anything you want to use, you have to use the import keyword. Okay, only just with export and import we can make this story available. Okay, so we made this example. Let me do one thing. In the same modules concept, I want to take a same example, but everything a separate file. Okay, interface separate file, abstract class separate file, employee separate file, and app I want to create object. See, I create lastly one object. No, this I will make an app. So let's see how it's possible. So I create another directory 13 hyphen ts hyphen modules. Okay, in this I create a main app. So there should be one main app. So app.ts. Fine. So first of all, I need one interface, I employee.ts. So I create in this, right click new, TypeScript, I employee. Okay. So in this, if you just write interface, if you just write, because we previously written interface I employee, no? If you just write like this is only available here. We want to make that available some other file also. You have to give an extra keyword called exports. Export, am I given exports? No, export only, not imports. Okay, just export and import. Export interface. If you write export, this is available for any other file. Okay, anywhere you can import it. So what is the data? Let me grab from the previous example. We have taken this same story, I copy, I paste in this file. So this is a separate file. Okay, next what you have, abstract class. Let me create a file with the same name to identify very easily. So new TypeScript abs employee TypeScript file. So in that what I do, I will write this abstract class in this file. Okay, and make sure you write a export keyword, export keyword, and you get some small error. Implements I employee, you get the error, cannot find the name called I employee, because previously both are in the same file, it happily gets, but now it is in some other file. So how to get it? How to get is you need to import. Okay, how to import is simple. Import I employee. This is how you will import. Even Angular also will import in this way. Employee from your I employee file. You don't need to write .ts file because all are ts only. Just make name of the file. Okay, so we written this, we exported, and we that one we have imported here and use it here. Fine. Next, I want to create another file for the concrete class called employee. So I create another file, new TypeScript employee ts file. So in that what is the code is, I will take this entire class name, only class I keep here, and you want to make this available for anybody, you just say export. And this all getting error because you didn't find the abs employee. So abs employee you have to import here. So let's say import something that is abs employee. So there is no error, it's happy. This is how you will write import and exports. And finally you create an object, but I want to create object not in this class, I want to create object in my app. Okay, so how you do is copy the calling, copy that, and I paste in here. Okay, now you get the error, it doesn't know where is the employee. Let's me import the employee. How to import employee? Just say import in the brackets employee. It imports and you can create it. So happy. So in app.ts, I have employee. In employee, I'm using abs employee, that is coming from some other file. In that, I'm using iEmployee, that is from some other file. Like we have these many files, so abs.ts, employee.ts, iEmployee.ts, and app.ts. You have a clear separation for everything. Okay, but still you can run the program. So can I say dot 13, so node space app.js, you got data. Okay, so this is the optimized way. You have to use everything is modules concept. Okay, fine. So we have discussed some of the oops concepts.
Can these
uh,
file be placed in other folder as well?
yeah, you can place, for
Then how to give
example,
the path?
I tell you, you need to give the folder name and then path. I show you.
Uh, okay.
I show you. I just create some folder. So something called enter interface folder. Okay, so I just move this guy inside. If I move it, it asks shall I move. Okay, if I move inside interface folder, now you check in the abstract employee, see dot slash interface slash employee. So it has done automatically because it's most powerful WebStorm, right? Otherwise you have to write. Okay, so
Okay.
suppose
What if
interface slash.
we put in folder number 12?
You need to give dot dot. If
So,
you want to refer that one, you need
mhm.
to give dot dot. But never go outside of your application.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, it's possible. For example, in this, no, in ABS, if you want to refer the previous one, I say dot dot slash. Okay, like
Okay,
this.
double dots.
Yeah. So you can go to any other file, previous folder, right? Like that. You can use data type slash something. Okay, but I want this my local own application. You can refer like this.
Dot means current folder and double dot means outside
No,
folder.
no. Generally, not in the current folder. Yeah. Okay, got it. So dot slash is current folder. Yes. Besides the file, double dot means previous folder, parent folder. Same as you said is correct. Okay, fine. And yeah. So now at this time, we need to understand some of the design patterns. Okay. So I have a plan of because we came to the end of TypeScript, so we can start Angular. I hope from tomorrow we start Angular. So before that, we have to discuss some design patterns. Two design patterns we'll discuss. One is factory design pattern, design pattern, and one more is modules, not modules. Another one is dependency injection design pattern. Okay, so what is the meaning of this factory design pattern? First of all, what is the design pattern? Design pattern means some of the best practices to implement the OOPS concepts, right? So we implement interface class like that. So same way, if you get some real world issue, I mean, real world problem you have and how to give a solution for that real world problem is the most experienced object oriented developers has given some sort of solutions. So how you create a class and how you create interface, how you create objects. So everything they have given a proper manner. Okay, so among all this, there are a lot of design patterns like factory design patterns, singleton design patterns, like many design patterns are available. But let's discuss one example. That's called factory design pattern. What is this factory design pattern is? Just for example of factory. So a factory can produce various products. So in our example, factory design pattern means it will produce some set of objects. Okay, so I show you the design of this and then we'll make implementation using TypeScript. So I have it somewhere here. I think I open here. Yeah, this is an example of factory design pattern. So what is that is I have one shape interface that having one draw method. Okay, no implementation, just draw method. So for this shape interface, I have three child classes which implements the draw method. Like a circle will draw a circle, square will draw a square, rectangle will draw a rectangle. So a same draw for each implemented class will implement their own way. Okay, so one interface can implement it for three different classes. Okay, now what is the benefit of this factory design pattern is generally in order to create an object you will export the object's creation logic. Generally, if you create an object for any class, you will expose the object's creation logic. But what is the factory design pattern is we don't expose the object's creation logic just like new circle, new square. We don't do that. This functionality can be done by the shop factory. One separate class. So this class is having a method called get shape. So this method will give you the required object. Okay, we don't need to specify new circle, new square, not like that. Okay, so we never expose the implementation of these things, but we will get the objects from here. So this factory will produce all the objects of these three. Okay, and we can use them in a demo. Okay, so let's make a same design how to implement using a TypeScript. So let's start with the shape interface, and even here we want to implement a modules concept. Module concept means what? Every concept within a separate file. Okay, let's import and export. So let's start with the interface shape. So I create a new directory 14 hyphen ts hyphen um, factory design pattern. Okay, in this I create one um, TypeScript file called app. Okay, fine. So first let's start with the shape interface. So I create a new TypeScript called shape. So this is export interface shape, and this is having only one method that is called draw method. So let's say draw method. That's it. Just return type is void. Then only declaration, no implementation. Fine. I have three implemented classes like circle, square, and rectangle. Each is separate file. So I create one separate TypeScript called circle. So export class circle, which implements the shape interface. You can import like this, and it's questions because you have not implemented the draw method. You can write the implementation as well. Okay, so in implementation, not just empty implementation, we write some logic, basic logic. Console.log of I am from, okay, let's say like this, from circle draw method. Okay, some circle draw method like this. So just very basic implementation. And I need another class also which implement this shape. So that is what square. So I create new typescripts. This is what square. So export class square, and this is not independent. It just implements from shape. Now this guy shape. You will write the implementation function that is draw. I make a same story like this. Copy and paste it. Okay, so this is what square dot draw. Okay, fine. And next, I need a same story. Can you do one thing? Can we copy the circle and paste again? I'll change this to rectangle. Rectangle. So this will be a rectangle, and this is rectangle draw method. Okay, fine. So we made shape interface and then three implemented classes. Okay. So now what is my plan is in my app, instead of creating just like that, I say one class app. In that I create one static method. So let's take public static one main function or method. Okay, and then I'll call it. So static method can be called just with the class name app.main. Okay, so here I want to create object. For example, you want to create a circle object. How to create is let's circle is equal to new circle. You create like this, and then circle dot draw method you call. So circle dot draw is gonna call this method, and you get the output as circle draw method. You wanna see that back here. Cd space dot dot cd space 14 hyphen tab. So node space app.js, enter circle dot draw method. Okay, generally you will expose the objects creation logic, and then you'll call the function, the method. Instead, what is the benefit of this factory pattern is I don't want to expose new circle. Okay, to create an objects for all these three classes, I will take another uh, class that's called shape factory. So this factory will produce each and every object depend on some key. Okay, so let's do that process. Shape factory. Let's create a shape factory now. I create new type step shape factory. So let's say export class shape factory. So this is not implementation of anybody. It's just independent. Okay, only these are implementation. This is just independent, but gets the data. Okay, shape factory. In this, okay, you have a default constructor. Nothing much. In this, I have a method. What is the method is that method will fetch you the particular object. Okay, so how you do is public. There is a function called get shape. Okay, so this method will take the shape type. So what type of shape object you want, what type of object you want, you have to just mention in a string format, and this will return the particular object. Object is what you can refer the parent type called shape. Okay, so here how you can create is, let me write some switch statement. In this I will write shape type is equal to circle. Suppose you provide me uh, suppose if you can provide me the shape type as circle, then I will return, sorry, I will return new circle object to you. Okay, and what's the problem? Oh, sorry. You have to write a case, no? I did a lot of mistake. Yeah, this is basic switch statement. Okay, switch shape type, and you'll be having cases, no? Yeah, case if it is circle, if you provide the value called circle, then I will return new circle object. See, I'm reading object here. Okay, and just like this, if you provide something else to me like a square, if you provide square, I will create a square um, object. If you provide something called rectangle string, I will create a rectangle object and give you back rectangle object and give you. If you don't provide anything, default is return null, nothing. Okay, this is my method in a shape factory. So that will produce a different objects based on the type you provide for this method. So how to call that is here. We already made export. So I create an object of shape factory here. So I say let shape factory is equal to new shape factory I created, and now I need to get the object. So let's say shape 1. You want to get the shape 1. I say let shape 1 is equal to, I don't need to create new circle because this will give you this will give you the object. So how to do is shape factory dot get shape. I'm going to provide a string called circle because this method is having a logic of producing different objects based on these strings. So if you provide circle, it will give you circle object. So if you say get shape, you get the circle. And now say shape one dot draw method. Okay.
Wait,
Huh?
you didn't provide it break in
Shape
switch.
in switch. Huh.
Okay,
Shape is the
so
parent interface.
okay.
Yeah. So yeah, done. Now let me check the answer. So I provide circle, so you get the circle object. Circle object the draw function will be function will be okay. It's referring to the parent, but its implemented class is circle. You get this answer. Let me check now. If I run the program, I got circle dot draw. So I never exposed the objects creation logic, but through this I got it. And just like that, I have a shape 2. I say let shape 2 is equal to shape factory dot get shape. I have to provide a rectangle. Okay, so shape 2 dot draw. So you will get the problem. Okay, that was not completely compiled. So now you got draw. This is CLS, run again. Yeah, rectangle. Okay, so one more. Let me copy the story, paste it. So shape 3. This is shape 3. I'm gonna provide something called what is that? Circle, square, square. Okay, done. So if you provide square, it'll give you square object. If you run the program, I got rectangular.
Three,
Okay.
three, three, step three.
Yeah, yeah. This is rectangle. Yeah, here is square.
No, main method. In main method, step three object you have to call.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Correct. Shape 3. Yeah, thank you. So done. Now check. You got circle, square, rectangle, like that. So this is an example. So this with this you understand, right? Like what is modules concept and how to call different functions. I mean different methods of different files, and also how to call them. Okay, so for that understanding purpose, I given this. Fine. So another thing we have that is called dependency injection design pattern. Anyway, that we'll discuss tomorrow, and immediately after that, that is just anything and just 10-15 minutes. Okay, and then we will starts with. I'm not going to do now. Okay, so immediately after that, we'll starts with Angular. Okay, Angular first application, and we also write some styles how to add, and what is architecture, what is component, what is service, what is guard, what is interceptor. So long story. So Angular starts from tomorrow, right? And Angular is using most common design pattern called dependency injection. So better we start with that with Angular. Okay, so before Angular only we'll discuss, and then we'll start Angular. Okay, and so what is the TypeScript knowledge you have? That is enough to starts with Angular. Okay, so tomorrow we start Angular, right? Uh, Fine. So that's it. Enough. Thank you so much, and we'll meet
Sir,
tomorrow. Yeah.
sir,
Uh,
yesterday I not able to download the TypeScript file. Whatever you link shared, no? So,
uh,
so I'm not able to download
okay. You and
TypeScript.
okay, okay, okay.
Only
You
TypeScript
and
file.
Subhashish Mishra
Yes, sir.
also. Okay, fine. So I will. Okay, I'll just check. Maybe some. I have not add your email ID. So please, same email ID use. So some people are using some different email ID. So only one email ID which you have shared once you're done with the payment. Same email ID given access. But let me do a cross check. Okay, and then I'll share the file. If
The
not,
file is moved to trash. That's the reason we were not able to
Yeah, yeah,
download.
yeah. Same message I am also.
okay, got it. See, daily I'll share new link, so you have to take the new one. Wait, I'll just show you the drive location. Yeah, maybe that is the issue. I show you everyone, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, understood. See, in this Angular 10 evening folder, this is the files, right? So yesterday, this is new file. See, code will replace every time. PPT will be same link only. This TypeScript, right? If you open this TypeScript current one,
Yeah.
uh, here we have this many. So yesterday up to 10 files we discussed. So 10. Okay, today what I do, I won't add to the same file because there is no provision to add to the same folder. Okay, so what I do, I delete this entire I delete this entire TypeScript zip. I create a new zip and add. So that time what happened? So new link will come for this TypeScript. But if you refer the old email ID, old mail, in that TypeScript will be old link. So whenever you want to download a source code, so fresh email you have to check.
Yeah, fresh email I have checked.
Okay, otherwise do one thing. I'll share this drive link. Okay, so no need to send email also. Just away as soon as I keep a file, you can download from here. So email, even links also not required, right? So I'll share this direct drive link through email ID to everyone. So if you open this, you can see all the files and you can download anytime.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, there is no
correct.
question of trash also. Fine, I'll
Correct.
share. I'll share this. Yep.
Or
So
we can
that's
use classroom notes as well, na?
ah
Google
yeah
provided
yeah
like.
yeah I'll share here. I think it's not there. Angular classroom notes I'll keep here, so you can download from here directly. Okay. So fine. Yeah, that's it. And thank you so much. And we'll start Angular tomorrow. Thank you.